The colony on Epsilon 7 was supposed to be a fresh start for humanity, a chance to prove they could coexist with the universe's countless species without the violence that had marked Earth's history. Mia had volunteered for the expedition specifically for that reason, to be part of something bigger, something peaceful. The forest near the settlement was unlike anything on Earth. Bioluminescent trees cast a soft purple glow across the undergrowth, and the air hummed with the songs of creatures humanity hadn't yet catalogued. Mia had been collecting soil samples 2 kilometers from the perimeter when she heard it, a soft, pained whimper that made her freeze mid-step. Following the sound, she pushed through a cluster of fern-like plants and stopped. There, curled beneath a fallen log, was a creature no larger than a terrier. Its fur shimmered between silver and blue, and 6 legs were tucked beneath its body. One of those legs stuck out at an unnatural angle, and dark blood, almost black in the purple light, stained the ground beneath it. The creature's eyes, large and iridescent, fixed on Mia with a mixture of fear and pain. "Hey there," Mia whispered, lowering herself slowly to a crouch. "I'm not going to hurt you," the creature hissed, baring tiny needle-sharp teeth, but didn't move. It couldn't. Mia could see that now. The leg was badly broken, possibly from a fall. Without help, this little thing would die out here. She'd been warned. Commander Chen had made it clear during orientation, "Do not interfere with the local ecosystem. We're guests here. We observe, we document, but we don't intervene." Mia looked at the creature's frightened eyes and made her choice. "I'm going to help you, okay? This might hurt a little." She moved slowly, pulling her field medical kit from her pack. The creature watched her every movement but didn't try to flee. Perhaps it understood, or perhaps it was simply too weak. When Mia reached out, it flinched but allowed her to gently examine the injured leg. The break was clean, at least. Mia worked carefully, using a temporary splint from her kit and wrapping it with sterile bandaging. The creature whimpered but stayed still, as if it knew she was trying to help. When she finished, she opened a ration pack and offered a piece of protein bar. The creature sniffed cautiously, then nibbled. A moment later, it devoured the entire piece. "Good," Mia smiled. "Let's get you somewhere safe." She couldn't take it back to the settlement. That would be a direct violation of protocol. Instead, she carefully lifted the creature, surprised by how light it was, and carried it to a small cave she'd noted earlier. She left water and more food, then reluctantly headed back. "I'll check on you tomorrow," she promised. The next morning, Mia found the cave empty. Her heart sank. Had something gotten to it? Had she failed? Then she returned to her quarters and found the creature sitting directly in front of her door. It looked up at her with those huge eyes. The splinted leg held carefully off the ground and made a soft chirping sound. "What are you doing here?" Mia glanced around nervously. If someone saw this, but the creature didn't move. When she opened her door, it limped inside after her, then positioned itself directly in front of the entrance. It lay down with its head on its paws, watching the doorway with alert intensity. "You can't stay here," Mia said, but even as she spoke, she was setting out food and water. The creature stayed. Days passed. Mia named it Leo, though she had no idea if it was male, female, or something else entirely. Leo's leg healed remarkably fast, but he showed no interest in leaving. He stationed himself at her door every night, and whenever she left for work, he followed at a distance, always keeping her in sight. On the 4th night, Mia woke to Leo's low growl. She sat up, heart pounding. Leo was at the door, his body tense, fur standing on end. His eyes were fixed on something outside. Mia grabbed her flashlight and carefully opened the door. A massive creature stood in the pathway between the housing units, easily 3 meters tall, with 4 powerful legs and a mouth full of teeth designed for tearing flesh. It was one of the apex predators they'd been warned about, one that rarely came near the settlement, until now. The predator's eyes gleamed in the flashlight beam, fixed on Mia. It took a step forward. Leo launched himself from the doorway. The small creature, barely healed, massively outmatched, placed himself directly between Mia and the predator. He snarled with a ferocity that seemed impossible for something so small, his fur bristling, making himself look larger. "Leo, no," Mia screamed. The predator hesitated, confused by this tiny thing's audacity. Leo didn't back down. He advanced, snapping and snarling, protecting the human who had saved him. Lights flickered on throughout the settlement. Voices called out. The predator, suddenly faced with multiple humans and one incredibly brave small creature, decided the meal wasn't worth the trouble. It turned and loped back into the forest. Leo stood his ground until it was gone, then limped back to Mia, who was openly crying. "You stupid, brave little thing," she whispered, scooping him up. "You could have been killed," Leo chirped softly and licked her face. Commander Chen arrived moments later, weapon drawn, with half the security team behind her. She took in the scene, the tracks of the predator, the small creature in Mia's arms, and the makeshift splint that was barely visible through Leo's fur. "Collins," Chen said slowly, "do you want to explain why there's a native creature in your quarters?" Mia met her commander's eyes. She found him injured. She helped him. And tonight he saved her life. Chen was quiet for a long moment. Then she holstered her weapon. "Have him checked by xenobiology tomorrow. If he's healthy and chooses to stay." She paused. Perhaps there's something to be learned about coexistence after all. Leo remained at Mia's door every night after that. Word spread through the settlement about the human who had shown kindness to an injured creature, and the creature who had repaid that kindness with loyalty unto death. It became a story told across the colony, then across all of humanity's outposts. The story of a human woman and an alien cub, and the bond that proved compassion was truly universal. Some called it foolish. Others called it dangerous. But those who understood the heart of humanity called it exactly what it was: hope.